And we are back.
We're back, bumble bitches.
Season 2, episode 19. Today is April 9th. This is going to drop, I believe, at the very end of this month. So I'm going to go a little bit of housekeeping before we get into emails.
Okie dokie.
For those of you who did catch the live stream that aired on April 13th, we have a couples retreat that we're calling it for Thailand. It's not a couples retreat. That's just the way we're advertising it. It is a 7-day trip to Thailand.
A vacation.
Vacation, if you want to call it that, with us. Are those new?
These
are
are
those
new.
a new one?
These are the ones from Tasha, Homestead Sass, if you guys are interested.
Yeah, little bumblebees on them.
No bumblebees and honeycombs.
Okay. Did you just put those on yesterday?
I put them on right before we sat down.
Okay, that would explain why I haven't seen them yet. Because you pre-game sleep last night on the couch and you weren't wearing your glasses.
I did.
So anyways, it's not a couples retreat. It could be a vacation. It could be a singles retreat if that's what you want to do. But we are doing 7 days in Phuket, Thailand with us. There's an elephant sanctuary.
A cooking class where we learn Thai cuisine.
Give me 1 second. Where were we?
Talking about the trip to Thailand.
There's also going to be Thai massage. The cooking class, I think, is going to be interesting.
I'm so excited for that. I love diving into new recipes and different cultural foods and all those kinds of things. And this is going to be like in the motherland.
Yeah. I understand that this is not going to be a true, like, fuck me up Thai massage, but I want like a true bend me backwards, like hurt me massage. And I don't think that I'm going to get that, but it would be cool to experience that while there.
Yeah.
And then obviously the other thing is the option for the boat race or the speedboat tour. We get to go where the beach was filmed. The elephant sanctuary, I think I mentioned that a minute ago.
You did. The Viking cave.
The Viking cave. There's a lot, the Rawai market, the Buddhist temple that's going to be there. There's a lot that we're going to see that's included with the trip. So the trip itself, if the early bird special is sold out, is like $2,300 for 7 days in Thailand. It includes all the excursions that we're doing, except for the boat trip to
the beach,
because that you have to pay extra. I think it's like $300 for that. There are 2 seminars. Food is included for most of the days. There will be a link in our link tree on everything that will take you to the trip if you want to go. This does not include your flights. However, flights to Thailand from Florida are between $700 and $1,400 per person round trip. And you can go to Thailand with your partner for less than $7,000, $8,000. And if that's something that you can't afford to do and you really want to go, you can use the company Affirm. Affirm uses, they have their own little lending program, so you can actually finance your trip. We are doing 2 seminars while we are there. We'll be going over I versus you statements.
And we will be doing a seminar on grace, repair, and patience.
Yeah, repair is going to be a big one. So for those of you who have been a follower of the podcast for a long time and want to do the meet and greets and want to do seminars and do these things with us, this is going to be the least expensive trip that we do because we picked one that is financially feasible for most people. Most people try to take a vacation every year anyways, and most vacations are going to run you from $5,000 to $15,000 depending on what you're doing, unless you're trying to do like a staycation and you're living in your van and you're doing like the really cheap route. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. Cheap vacations are dope as shit.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun on those.
But being able to go abroad and stay somewhere that we've never been and experience a culture that we've never experienced and get life lessons from what we've got planned out. We've actually have the seminars planned, skits, the whole 9. I highly recommend that you go back to our YouTube channel. If you're not watching this on YouTube, look for this video. There will be a link in the link tree that says want to travel with us, and it will take you to the sign up page. And if it's already sold out and you want to do another one, fill out the survey, let us know, because there will be an overage in case somebody backs out. We want to take the overflow and be able to offer that spot to somebody, but we're also looking into doing Costa Rica next year.
I would love to do something in Europe.
Yeah, we want to do, we have options to go everywhere. Italy is on the list. A lot of people want to go to Yellowstone. So we have a lot of travel that we want to do over the next few years. And the seminars are allowing us to do that in a way that you guys can come with us and get to experience that in like a full week scenario.
Yeah.
The other thing is that...
this is a new point. Are you moving on from the trip?
I don't know. I just lost it all. What were you going to say?
I wanted to add on that this is going to be like a once-in-a-lifetime trip. It's going to be once-in-a-lifetime experiences and once-in-a-lifetime information that you can get from us.
Yeah.
I think that if you're on the fence on doing it and you haven't had a vacation in a really long time and you get approved through Affirm, I think $200 a month in payments would be worth a lifetime experience.
Yeah, I agree. I don't remember what I was going to say. It instantly dropped. It's gone.
Yeah.
It happens.
That phone call really got into your chi. Oh man.
Today's a business day, guys. All right. I am turning my phone off.
Okay.
I apologize. We are 11 minutes in and there's probably 4 minutes of usable fucking video because my phone won't stop ringing.
Yeah.
Business. Yay.
Business is rough. I got a pretty healthy dose of that this week.
Yeah, you want to talk about that?
Oh my goodness. We can talk about all of it. I made a TikTok. I did a get ready with me, guys. It's sitting in my drafts. I don't know if I'm going to post it or not.
You should.
I should. So the last week, my life has been podcast, garden segment, family, bath line. And I have mentally been going through it. And Sunday, I lost multiple times at Call of Duty, and that was just the cherry on top of my shit Sunday. I don't know why that was the thing that pushed me over the edge mentally, but I could not reel myself back in. And the bath line's a lot. It's a lot. We lost product and shipping more than anticipated, which really sucks, but I mean, what can you do about that? I partnered with somebody to make the soaps, and because there was not my hands-on experience, there's frustration that I felt because I'm not present. All of this communication is through text message and phone calls and sending photos, and did this look all right? And no, we got to remake that. And
so you're saying there was an issue with communication? Crazy.
Right? And like I said, I've never had my own business, you had no hands in on this.
Yeah, no, I've stayed completely hands off intentionally.
Yeah. Thank you for letting me sink to swim. I needed this.
I figured if you really needed help, you'd be like, all right, babe, I can't do this on my own. I need help. And then I would jump in. But
right.
that's not what this is.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. And what you're doing.
I've hand packaged everything. I have reusable glass jars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've gone above and beyond in a lot of things. And like for what you're doing, like doing this, if somebody wanted to do what you're doing right now and they had a small following, and I think they could probably make it work as a business for them. But if they're doing what you're doing on top of everything else that we're doing, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. I have dedicated probably 30 hours.
Just last week.
Packaging, weighing things.
Yep.
Boxing things, yeah.
And that doesn't include all of the packaging to move and like to put it to the post office.
Yeah.
And I did the website stuff. So there's another 8 hours there because I
Yeah.
had to figure out the website to make it all work. That was a whole day of shit on my end.
Yeah.
So I did help a little bit in that aspect, and I am making post office runs, but
It's been a lot.
yeah.
I am a perfectionist too. I'm self-soothing with my hair right now. I'm a perfectionist, and everything has to be wrapped right. And it has to look very aesthetically pleasing. It has to, like, the labels have to be just perfect. And my handwriting, I've thrown away so many labels because my handwriting was not to my specifications. And I'm in charge of
Not
this.
to your standards.
Right, to my standards. It's not to my standards. Oh, you hit me with it. I'm being too hard on myself today. And I was like, damn, you're right. And then we had a hug. So now I'm talking about what I talked about in that TikTok, because some of you guys won't see that. And I went to my man and I was like, I need a hug. And you gave me a hug. And I was like, I'm sorry I'm not a ray of sunshine, because I have an expectation within myself to be a ray of sunshine. And you hit me with, well, what do you need to be a ray of sunshine? And I paused, and then I answered that I need a photography day, and then I need some really fantastic quality time together. But in that pause, there was like a whole mini verse expanding within its own time and space. Like, I lived a lifetime in that pause before I answered you, because you asked me, what do you need? expecting an answer, and my body went, the fuck did he just ask me? The audacity to ask a grown woman what she needs in order to fulfill what she wants to live in her life. How am I supposed to know that? And then I provided an answer because I thought about it, and I should know that because I am me. But when my soul had that reaction of the gull, I was like, oh my God, I've been living in a trauma response for the last 2 days because I'm overwhelmed and stressed and flooded. And there's just, oh gosh. And that trauma response is because I feel out of control with my time. And because I feel out of control with my time, I feel out of control in my life, even though I am choosing to do the bath lime and I'm choosing to stop doing what I'm doing to go cook. And that's why I'm not done with packaging. And like, I am choosing to stop doing what I'm doing to spend time with you on the couch or to go play with the kids. So I am in control of my life. I'm just upset about how my time's being allocated because I've chosen this. And then I also had a moment of prepared everybody. My husband was right.
Crazy.
Before I even took on this endeavor, he was like, babe, I support you in anything you want to do. I want you to thrive. I don't want you to be spread too thin. And I was sitting in my makeup room and I was like, oh my God, I'm spread too thin. And I was like, oh my God, he told me. It's super dope having a mentor inside of a husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until, well, I'm not going to say that.
Until what?
Until the amount of people who think that I'm like forcing you to do all this shit because we see it.
Yeah, I actually, for comments, full capacity of characters, berated somebody on TikTok the other day for that.
Yeah. People saying that I should jump in and take some of the load off of you. And
no, I haven't asked.
Right. Well, it's more than that too. We have other businesses. We have a lot of shit going on. And if you needed me, I can move my life around to help you do the shit, and I would gladly do that.
Right.
But you're getting a taste. You're getting a quarter of what I do, and it sucks. Like you're getting a quarter of the business aspect of things. So like it's giving you a new perspective of my stress levels.
Well, I'm also learning a lot.
Right. Which has been the last year of my life with all of this.
Oh my God.
So like and it's not one of these things where I'm like, ha, you fucking experience it. Cause that's not it. I want you to understand if I'm like, hey babe, I'm really fucking struggling today.
Right.
Now you understand why I'm struggling. Cause there's not enough time in the day. And like in reality, there's a whole lot of things that can get moved around and pushed around because not everything is a necessity.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of things that can wait. Like our house is a fucking disaster right now. Bottles everywhere, fucking soap shavings everywhere. There's fucking.
I feel like we're living in a barn.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with that. It's chaos.
Yeah,
this is the cleanest part of our house right now.
It is, and it devastates me.
But it's one of those things that like, is the world going to end if the house goes another week without getting clean? No, it's not.
Oh gosh, for me.
But if we spend the next week getting the bath line done and all that shit's mailed out, and then you have to clean the bath lines done. You don't have to worry about that shit anymore. So then that's one thing completely removed off your plate as you go back to the normal life.
Yeah.
There's also a sense of now you understand what your limits are.
Or I understand that this, okay, yes, I agree with that statement. Before I even continue what I'm saying, I agree with that. I definitely see where my limits are now. I also see where I can improve things and grow. And be like, okay, is this really my limit or is this just slightly outside of my comfort zone and I need to adapt? And then like 100 yards that way is actually my limit.
Right.
It's been a lot. I would also imagine that you would want me to experience this because I am now adapting new skill sets.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of things that are happening. So and like there's knowing that you put 30 hours into this bath line over the last week. Because we were trying to get it out quickly. Mm-hmm. If we did it slower and we spread that 30 hours over the course of 3 weeks, it wouldn't have been a big deal.
No.
But then when you look at that 10 hours a week, we could be doing coaching calls at 10 hours a week. Yeah, we could be doing mentor programs. We could be doing seminars. We could be doing meet and greets. There's a whole lot of other things that we could be doing with that time that could propel the podcast and be very lucrative. Because the soap thing is not. Like when you break down the hours spent, the time put into it, supplies, it's minimum wage.
Well, something that I also thought about is that I did 3 different scents for this. I was very overzealous. I was so excited and I was like, I can do it all. And I fucking ran with it. if I were to do this again, it would be 1 cent. It would be 1 cent in soaps and the same scent across the board. The longest part in this was me having to figure out how to fold, because all the soaps are different shapes. So once I finish packaging 50 soaps, all right, now I have to figure out how to package this new soap.
Right.
And then with the oils and the jars, they're all different scents. If they were all 1 cent, I wouldn't have to the next day be like, okay, now I have to double check my labels and make sure this is written properly. I had to, my nose was burned, gone. Because I would put something down and be like, okay, I'll remember what scent that is. So I'm wasting 45 minutes trying to figure out what scent is which and make sure I'm labeling it properly. I've been a mess. This whole thing has been a disaster for me. But we are getting to the end goal. And I am now recognizing that there are more efficient ways to do things. And more efficient way to do things means that there's a better profit margin. I just have to figure out how and if.
All right. And the next thing also would not just be the profit margin. It would be trying to figure out a more effective plan of attack.
Yeah.
Like you said, a single scent across everything.
Right.
Or even going, having another person do your packaging. Like there's a whole lot of other things. Delegating responsibilities in terms of business is never a bad thing. Starting a new business is hard.
Yeah.
Always hard, especially when you have a whole other life going on.
Yeah.
It's not an easy process. And when you understand that it's not an easy process, you also understand why most people start and quit.
Yeah.
And give up.
Yeah.
It would have been really easy to just give up on all of this.
Yes.
So.
But it feels really good to see it through.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Me sending out these boxes, I now my body is now trained. I can feel my tear ducts filling. My eyes aren't even welling yet, but I can feel there's preparation happening within me. Seeing the end product, and I bought gold and white crinkle paper to soften the packaging. And I'm getting it in there and it looks all nice and neat. And I'm seeing the packaged soap and the bottles with the labels and it looks really nice. And I feel even with all of my anxieties and my frustrations and my angers and my worries and my what ifs, I feel good seeing my end product. And I have handwritten note cards saying, thank you for supporting a dream, because this was a dream for me.
Almost 200 of them. Because there's almost 200 orders.
Yeah.
So.
I could have very easily given up on this. There were even thoughts of, I'm not fucking doing this again. But I want to, because I am very passionate about self-care. And when I'm standing in the mirror in the morning and I'm putting on the body oil that I had the specifications of how I want it made and the scents, and it feels good. And I want to be able to provide self-care products like that for other people. I just need to find a better way to do it.
Yeah.
Because this was not it.
We need to do a man scent for beard oils.
Yeah, I want to do that. I have some man scents picked out. I think one of them was it's like a cigar room scent with whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a tobacco, not burnt tobacco, but that cherry tobacco smell, cedar and whiskey, or tobacco and cedar just by itself would do well. Anyways, we've wasted a whole lot of time with all of this.
Yeah.
And the multiple phone calls. So let's jump into some emails and get some stuff done so we can eat.
Okay.
Because I haven't had breakfast yet.
I haven't
and
eaten
it's lunchtime.
So this email is titled, Did I Do the Wrong Thing? Hello, I'm 25 years old this year. My boyfriend will be turning 21. We have known each other for 5 years, and I was married for 4 years before him.
Okay, so that doesn't add up. So unless they've only been married for a short amount of time, and she got married at 18 and was married from 18 to 22 or whatever, and she knew him the entire time she was married to her ex. But those time frames don't make sense. I guess that clarification would have been nice, but it doesn't really matter. But I guess.
My ex-husband and I separated due to extreme cultural differences, despite me not loving the idea of divorces. That's wild. They got divorced because of cultural differences. You went into the marriage with the cultural differences.
Right. Well, those cultural differences in marriage could be very different than dating. You look at somebody who has traditional values, it's very rare in our culture, but in other cultures, it's very
It's
prevalent.
expected.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Was this we're going to give it a shot and see if it works? Or. I don't know. I mean, the cultural differences were always there. I don't see how that. Just me pondering, I guess. Essentially, the man used me in order to get a green card.
Oh, well, there you go.
That's not cultural differences.
No, that's you being used for a green card.
That was kind of shitty.
I know a lot of women who do that shit and get paid for it.
Well, I mean, associating being used for a green card to extreme cultural differences.
Maybe she actually just saw it as extreme cultural differences, and now that they're divorced, she's bitter and saying that it was because he used her for a green card.
Maybe. I want to. So I said that because I want to clarify. Anybody can be a shitty human being. It's not because of somebody's culture. Lots of history there, trauma and such. I have no children. Fast forward to being separated for nearly a year, and I started talking to my now boyfriend, who was 19 at the time we started to date. We had known one another through work for many years. The age gap was never an issue because of his emotional and financial maturity.
Why financial maturity? You guys are not that different. You're literally 5 years apart.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Isn't that what she said? He's about to turn 21 and she's 25. 4 years. You're 4 years apart.
I'm 25 years old this year and he'll be turning 21. So about roughly 4 or 5 years.
This is not even really an age gap. There's a 4-year difference.
Yeah. When I think of an age gap, I'm thinking like 8 years plus.
Yeah, plus.
Yeah.
4 years. I'm so much older than you.
Robbing the cradle. Oh my goodness. Start calling you a silver fox.
I am very curious as to why she threw in the financial maturity there.
Maybe it's because guys his age could be spending it on stupid things, in her opinion.
Yeah, I mean, people that are my age do that shit.
Yeah.
I do that shit.
Well, you do it wisely, though. I would say that you have financial maturity. If that's what we're using as the termination. Termination. Oh my God. Terminology and definition. You were looking at me and you started smirking, and I like the way your mouth moves.
I buy what I want. If I had $10 million put away and died tomorrow, that's $10 million I didn't get to enjoy. What good did that do me in life? So I do what I want with my money. If I want to buy a new bike or a new quad, I'm going to. If I want to buy you a car, I'm going to. If you want to spend $600 at the hair salon and there's $600 in the bank, you go do that. Like, I can always make more money. I know that. Yeah. I just don't. I don't know. I get my what the fuck immediately perks up when people talk about finances,
right?
Like that.
Because you've seen people.
Because I've watched women manipulate men for money my entire life.
Right.
So when that's a gold standard and that's something that's like a quality trait that you're looking for in a man, that makes me want to ask questions and probe as to why that's so important.
Yeah.
Do you want a traditional relationship? Because I can see how that's important. Do you just want somebody to take care of you? Because that's not a traditional relationship. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
No, that makes sense. That's lived experience too. I was just thinking, you said the $10 million sit in a bank account and you were to pass away. What good did that do you?
None.
Right. Me on the flip coin, I'd be like, I could help a lot of people with that after I die.
I don't know what I would do if I had $10 million in the bank.
Isn't that insane to think about? Like, I couldn't think of $10 million worth of things that I'd want.
I'd probably give it all to animal charities.
Yeah. That's probably what I would do too.
And homeless veterans. I gotta be honest, I don't like people enough to want to help them.
Yeah.
Because you could help yourself. There are extremes in everything. And the extremes obviously need help. But for the most part, I think that people just don't care enough.
Yeah.
To make change in their life. It's easier to just to exist and be comfortable. Your bath line, the discomfort that you talked about in the beginning of this is what it takes to get to where you want to go.
It does.
And most people don't want to suffer through that because it's easier to be comfortable than it is to not be comfortable.
I would opt to go through everything I've gone through the last 2 to 3 days to go to where I'm going projected in my future. Mm-hmm. Every time.
Yeah. And it will be like that every time. The stresses will change, but they'll always be there.
Yeah.
Anyways. The beginning of this email, if we would have just shut up and read through the email, we would have understood the timeline.
We would have.
It's like I'm watching a movie with you, but I'm you.
Yeah. How does it feel to be me?
I don't enjoy this.
It's kind of frustrating, isn't it?
I should have just shut up and waited.
Yeah. I have to joke about it now, or I'll just wallow in self-hatred.
Why did I say that? So stupid.
Oh my gosh. There are times where like I'll try to be flirty with you. And then I'll be like, oh my God, why did I say that? But like, you'll be excited about it. I'll be like, okay, so he was cool with it.
Oh, hey, earlier you mentioned Call of Duty, and I forgot to say that we are gaming on Twitch.
We are.
To Be Better podcast on Twitch. We play every Saturday for sure.
We do.
And we pop up game whenever we have free time to do it. I have been playing a whole lot more than her because she's been doing the bath line, and because she's doing the bath line, I don't have nothing to do.
Yeah.
We can't record. I don't have nothing to edit. I'm ahead on everything, so I've got to fucking play video games for a week and a half. It's wild. I feel like a teenager.
I've missed you.
Yeah. You can take all this shit to the studio.
With my broken arm, it's a lot. I could. You're right. That's an excuse. We could do that. Can you help me with that?
We could. Just put it on a cart and roll it out to the car.
Okay. Thank you for helping me with that. Can I admit something?
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been in a bad mindset, part of me was a little salty that you've been video gaming. But I need you to know that the bigger part of me was like, bitch, you need to calm down. He's enjoying his life. Let him be happy.
Yeah.
I want you to know that I stood up for you against me.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
I realized that like I'm not riding my dirt bike.
No.
We haven't ridden the quads because you're injured.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of things that I would otherwise be doing that I'm not doing, which is allowing me to play video games.
Yeah. I thought about that too.
It's a lot of time management. And I also know that like I'm going to have a choice to make at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, am I going to just stop doing what I'm doing with the game thing and go back to riding dirt bikes? Or are we going to play less? Or are we going to only play one day a week? Like,
we're going to have a healthy balance of things.
Right. We'll see. And that's where I was going with that. It does come down to balance.
Yeah.
I realize that I got a lot of money in my Surons.
You do.
And I really want to ride them, but I don't have anyone to ride with.
Yeah.
And it's not, I mean, it's cool to ride by yourself to get somewhere, but it's not fun riding by yourself if you're just riding to ride.
Right.
So
I thought about
at
that.
least where we live. If we were in a city, I could throw a GoPro on and fucking make content riding around watching people get arrested and fucking beat up and all kinds of crazy shit. But
I would do that with you.
Right now, you won't.
No, well, with my broken elbow, I can't. I've been thinking about that heavily the last 2 days too.
Yeah.
Like, I really miss being outside on the bikes, and I prefer street over dirt.
Yeah.
I do.
See, I'm the opposite. But with my really fast Suron, it doesn't matter.
It's because I don't have the confidence yet to know that I will not fall every single time I have to hit a rut or...
Yeah.
I'm getting up there. When I first got on the dirt bike, it was at a low 15-20% of survivability of hitting something. Now I would say I'm up to like 65-70.
Unless you hit me, then you break your elbow.
Yeah, that goes down to 0. Okay, now we're back into the email. The age gap was never an issue because of his emotional and financial maturity. For a year, we live together, love one another, and we debate but never fight. As I have BPD, meaning borderline personality disorder, if you meant bipolar, we should just start typing these out, guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume borderline personality disorder. I can be difficult. We always remain honest and open, and he's incredibly patient and understanding. He knows when to be masculine and support me, and when to be vulnerable and emotional to connect with me. He earns 3 times the amount of money I do, and could easily support us when we have a child. Our romance and intimacy is out of this world. We both pleasure one another and experiment. He loves soft touches and massages, and I love to talk for hours about everything. We enjoy all the same things, and the things we don't, we learn to enjoy for the other person. I'll build Lego kits with him, race remote control cars, and play video games. He will watch my reality TV, listen to your guys' podcast, and talk/listen endlessly with me.
All this is super healthy so far. I don't understand what the problem is.
Right. I love to do the house chores because I'm very particular about how things are. If I ask him to help, he never complains. If I ask to grab something, run an errand, he's off with an "of course, my love," and I give him endless love and praise for helping out. I didn't want to get remarried, but it means a lot to him. Now, I've earned that respect and love back for myself. I see the value in marriage, and I see his value, and would love to marry him. We live together and have been trying for a baby with no luck yet. As we now have a home with space, the finances to support a baby, and are deeply in love, we have both strong morals when it comes to raising our future child and the influence we want to be on them. We have discussed all matters involving parenting that we can think of to make sure that we are on the same page. We've talked about how to remain loving, faithful, honest, and caring while transitioning into parenthood together.
Have you talked about,
Postpartum anything?
yeah, hormones that are going to change?
Depression,
Have you talked about
psychosis.
the time, the quality time? Like, there's a whole lot of other things that most people neglect when they have those conversations, and those need to be had too.
I would talk about what actions will be taken when possible resentment starts to build up. If you're home all day with a newborn and he gets to go out to work and he comes home and you're both home with a newborn and you never get to leave, you will possibly start to build resentment towards the fact that he just gets to leave the house for anything.
Yeah.
That should be a conversation. Create a safe word. That's been my biggest recommendation to people, is to create a safe word, because when you're going through it, you get stupid. And when I'm going through it, I can't really talk about what I'm going through. All I can convey is I appreciate you being patient and thank you for loving me. Like, I am making it a point to go out of my way and just be grateful. Create a safe word if you can't do that. If you can't communicate, say, I'm going to say capybara, and that means that I am going through it. I am having a very hard time, and if I open my mouth, it's probably going to be aggressive, and I don't want to be that way with you. And set in place a plan of what will be done when that safe word is used, whether that be taking the baby for an hour and a half, you get to go take a bath, you get to go on a walk, you get to go maybe to your mom's house. No questions asked. I got you covered. He wants to propose to me this year and has everything planned out for it. Loves me, is excited to spend forever with me, and I love it. Here's the stitch. Around Christmas time, he showed me some video about a promise ring online, and I made fun of it. I went on one of my rants. I said it was a cop-out, and if you're going to ask someone to be your wife, just do it. Why do you have to promise to promise? It shows lack of commitment.
I agree.
I also agree. I expressed how embarrassed I'd be at this stage in our relationship. With the seriousness of our conversations and the intention to have a child, how completely stupid a promise ring would be.
Yeah, he was making a request for connection and trying to show you that this is something he wanted to do, and you shit on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are conversations that you have at random, not when he's showing you something. Because it's a hint.
Right. And I thought about that too, that it's a hint, because my first reaction would have been like, oh, that's stupid. But with my enlightened mindset, now whenever you come to me about anything, oh, that's cool. Why are you showing me that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And what's the story behind it?
Yep. If we were at dinner having a conversation like, what's your view on promise rings? And you were like, I think that's dumb. I'd be like, noted. I'm not going to ever buy a promise ring. She just wants the actual ring, right? Like that. But those are probing questions that should be had
before planning is
before
made.
planning is made, right?
Yeah. I love that we're on the same wavelength like that sometimes.
Yeah. It's important to, everybody does that. Everybody has those foot and mouth moments.
Yeah.
Where you just kind of didn't really catch the cues and you're like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that. Yeah. But you shit on something that they were excited about. That's where this is going, I think.
Yeah. I immediately saw it across his face, hurt and disappointment.
There you go.
I asked if he was planning something, and he admitted to it. He explained that he wanted the proposal to be perfect and the ring to be valuable. In the meantime, he wanted people to know that I was his. He wanted to give me a promise ring. He wanted to claim me. He wanted me to know that he had every intention of proposing very soon. However, I find promise rings to be childish. I love him, and therefore I had to do some cover-up work while not changing my opinion on this matter.
Oh no.
I love him, and therefore I had to do some cover-up work while not changing my opinion on the matter. Oh, do you mean like recuperating his hurt feelings?
I think she started backpedaling
Backpedaling.
and holding her stance, but doing it. I don't like the way I don't like where that's going.
Yeah, I didn't like the way
it sounds like this is about to become a deception or a lie to me.
Yeah. It's cover-up specifically that is tripping up my brain. I'm really working on trying to be able to figure out what is the thing that's triggering something in me. And I'm noticing that it's certain words or phrases too. And cover-up in and of itself sounds sneaky. like, oh, we got to cover up this crime we just committed. If we don't cover that up, we're going to get yelled at.
Right. But it could also be that you're trying to fix a mistake.
Yeah.
Because you look at that with a cover up and a tattoo, you're
true.
fixing a fuck up. So
that is a very good perspective on that. Thank you for balancing out my worldview.
I don't see, there's a whole lot that could be done here. Let's just keep going, because
Okay.
I have a lot that I want to say about the ring thing, but I don't want to.
Okay.
And then it be a thing later and me have already addressed it.
I told him I appreciate the thought, but I don't need a fancy ring. I don't need everyone to see him propose. As long as I'm with him, then I'm happy. He told me it wasn't about loyalty, and he would never question me, nor would I him. It sounds like he wants you to have a symbol on you that shows other people that you are off the market. It's not about having, he does want the ring to be valuable and that he has weight on that. To me, it sounds like it boils down to he wants it to be off the market.
I was going to address the finance thing with the ring. The idea of having a super expensive ring is stupid.
I agree.
You can buy a fucking really cool looking ring that will have a lot of meaning to her that she'll enjoy wearing, that could hold that place. But if you have the money to buy an expensive ring and that's what you want to do, then do that. I did. If that's what's going to make you happy, great. But it's not a matter of making her happy. It's about making you happy. This is a pride thing for him.
Yeah.
Putting a ring on that finger for him, because he said it's not about loyalty. It's about wanting to show the world that you're his. This is an ownership thing. This is him wanting to be like, that's fucking mine. Like, I did that. That's my woman. And there's pride in that. There's nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. But I think that conversation needs to be had. And I think that's where the conversation from the promise ring should have come up.
Yeah.
This is also being able to read between the lines and really understand what's going on.
I really don't see the point in spending tons of money on a rock on my finger. It has no value to our relationship or to who he is as a man. I'm not a materialistic woman. But I especially don't see the point in a promise ring when he wants to propose soon anyways. He was clearly upset about it, and we haven't brought it up since. I know he's still planning a proposal, but did I go overboard?
You hurt his feelings.
Yeah.
He's trying to be romantic and do something that's going to make you happy, and instead of being happy, you shit on his idea.
That would be one of those moments where it'd be very hard for me with my borderline to not go, fuck it, I'm never going to do anything romantic again.
Yep.
I would really, really have to combat that mindset and understand that my delivery of the whole promise ring may not have been the best. Because it's just sharing her opinion on it and had no idea that I had intentions of surprising, and it's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah. I think that if you're going to spend the money on a ring just to spend money on another ring, buy something she's going to like and actually propose.
Right.
And when you can afford to buy a really nice ring, just replace it. Who gives a shit?
That would be my solution to it.
Simple. But I also think that if this is one of those things, it's a pride thing for him and she hurt his pride, that's a problem.
Elaborate.
So the way I'm interpreting this email is that he was very excited to do something to like elevate their relationship.
Okay, take them to the next level.
Even though it's not the true engagement, it's like, hey, you mean more to me than just being my girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And I have every intention of proposing to you, but I just can't afford the ring that I want you to wear. So I'm going to buy you something else for right now to hold us over. And that's, the idea of a promise ring. That I think the definition behind calling it a promise ring is fucking stupid to me.
Yeah.
Just buy a cheap little ring and propose.
And then tell me when I have the funds, you will.
Right. No, I'm working. I've got X amount of dollars saved. And when I get to 10 grand, we're going to go buy you a big motherfucking ring. Like,
yeah.
But until then, you're going to have to wear this little silver band because that's what I can afford. Right now, we are not in a place that I can spend that kind of money, but I will be one day. If you're my ride or die, you'll fucking wait. And if you're not, then just tell me that now. Mm-hmm. But I think that this comes from a place of pride and a place from wanting to show the world that that's his woman. Like, that's a thing for a lot of men. It may not be for everyone, and people may call that controlling or obsessive or whatever you want to fucking call it. But if you were claiming another person as yours and that's my person, why wouldn't you want to show that shit off? Why wouldn't you want to go out to places and like let other people see that there's a ring on that finger? Like, No, it's not my girlfriend. That's my woman. Like, this is a different scenario now. We've leveled up a little bit.
Right.
That's not my girlfriend. That's my wife. It has a different connotation to it when you talk about it. And like for a lot of men, a lot of people, it's not just men, because women feel the same way. We see comments from women constantly on TikTok in our videos about this terminology. A lot of women feel that way too. There is a pride in that. And if you got you a good woman and you're proud of your woman, showing her off is prideful for you. Like, so I think she hurt his pride. I think that in this scenario, she needs to apologize. Not backpedal, not try to cover it up, just apologize. Be like, look, my words were harsh.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what you were trying to do. And the idea of a promise ring is fucking stupid to me. But the understanding of what you're trying to do by giving me a promise ring is fucking sweet, and I appreciate it. That's how you heal what has just been done.
I agree.
The underlying real reason for what it is means so much more than what you're calling it. I don't know. That's my thoughts on that one.
This one is titled Patreon, Finding Balance as a Tattoo Artist and Family Member. Hello. Love listening to your podcast. Longtime listener and love all your insight. I'm going into my 9th year of tattooing, and I don't think that too many people, spouses included, can really understand what it's like to be a tattoo artist. I've always struggled with relationships and my career because my career has always had to come first. A few years ago, I got diagnosed with a neurological disorder that threatened to take my eyesight away. And I worked very hard. The hell? And I worked very hard to get into remission. After I came out of that, I had an entirely new view on my career and my life. I started to relax when it came to my tattooing, and it was nice to finally set up my own boundaries with clients in my studios. But during this process of chance and growth, I again lost my relationship to my previous partner of 4 years. Fast forward to about 2 years ago, I met my now partner. We have a wonderful relationship, we truly do. At the end of the day, we are best friends, and even though we have fought about things, both petty and pretty serious, we always have found a way to come together and talk about our issues and resolve them so we are both happy in the end. The biggest struggle for me is that I am now a step-parent. We have my partner's kid on the weekend, and so I take those days off of work. Weekends are generally the big day for tattoo artists, as most know. Also, I've been taking on less and less work, cutting sessions short. Oh, it's so many S's. Cutting sessions short and other things to make sure that I am home for my family. We eat dinner at 5 and bedtime is at 7:30. I haven't been able to do guest spots or conventions for some time now, which is fine overall, but I'm falling further and further away from who I thought I would be as a tattooer.
Well, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about that, because I fucking hate what the tattoo industry has become. Tattoo artists think that they're going to work a 9 to 5.
No.
And that's going to be their life. And you can't make money that way, because most people who get tattoos are at work from 9 to 5. And if you think that somebody's going to miss a day of work and go get tattooed on the same day, so they're basically missing out on their income while spending their income, it's going to be a lot fucking harder for you to make it as a tattoo artist. Working from noon to 10 or noon to 8 or 2 to 10 or whatever your schedule is means that you don't get a family life.
Right.
And that's the trade-off. Being a tattoo artist is not a rock star job.
No.
It's long fucking hours. It's high stress. It's very mentally taxing.
It's hard on the body.
It's hard on the body. So there's a whole lot that goes into that, right? And then on top of that, you have to think about the fact that your kids are going to grow up not seeing you all the time because you're working. And now tattoo artists want to work 6-hour days instead of the 8 to 12 that we've always put in and expect to make a living doing it. Money doesn't come like that. If you want to earn as a tattoo artist, you have to be willing to work.
Yep.
So listening to this guy saying that I've set up boundaries with my clients and my studios, that's good. I don't know what those boundaries are, but good for you for setting up boundaries. If you're off work, you shouldn't be worrying about work shit. You should be taking downtime. But I grew up in an industry where you worked 6 or 7 days a week. And if your fucking MySpace or Facebook dinged in the middle of the fucking night and you were up, you answered that shit.
Yeah.
Because those people are sending the same message to every artist in town, and whoever responds first is going to get that client.
They don't care about the quality of the art.
Nope.
They don't care who's tattooing them. They just want the tattoo.
They want a good price, and they want it right now.
Yep.
So there's a whole lot that goes into that. Now, when you get into the upper echelon of your abilities and you are a high value tattoo artist, award-winning, have a huge client base, you can back off of that shit as well. But it sounds to me like this dude is destroying his career.
I had dreams of being a tattoo artist. I still do. Maybe in the future. You know, after being a stay-at-home mom and recognizing how much time I was spending away from the kids, it was either I was going to be a tattoo artist or I was going to be a present mom.
Mm-hmm. You have a decision you have to make. You can't do both. You
No.
can't dedicate 100% to your career or 100% to your family. You have to choose.
Right. And you can't dedicate 40% of your time to work.
I think it's cool that the shop he's working at is letting him have the weekends off. I wouldn't do that. If one of my artists was like, I can't work the weekends, I wouldn't hire him. Mm-hmm. Friday and Saturdays are the biggest money days in the studio. I'm not going to let you miss that and like be short staffed when I can give that desk to somebody who's going to be here full time.
Mm-hmm. This is one of those things that you really need to think about before you get with somebody who has children.
Right.
You know, if you've been career oriented and your whole life is career, just like when somebody chooses to have a child, your life is going to change drastically. And a vast majority of single parents out there, when they are with somebody, they expect that person to be present. And we're going to have family time and you're going to be part of the kids' lives. So it does really boil down to there will be a trade-off.
If you're a good enough tattoo artist that you have a high-end clientele, you can absolutely work a 9 to 5 because you can book your appointments while you're at the studio while the shop is open and book yourself out and work 9 to 5 and stay booked. But that's going to depend on your work ethic. It's going to depend on your drawing time and your ability to make sure that you're ready for your appointments on time. Mm-hmm. If you're working for 4 hours a day and the rest of your day is spent drawing for other appointments, that creates a whole nother problem because you're spending time at the studio for those 4 hours, not generating revenue.
Right.
So like in that scenario, I would be tattooing from open to close 9 to 5. And then I would be working on my drawings at nighttime before bed.
Right.
I'm willing to work from home to make more money. The tattoo industry, hair salon, anything where you are a commission based person and you are able to write your own paycheck, it's going to come down to your work ethic. Mm-hmm. Are you willing to spend the next 2 hours at night, every night for the next 2 weeks before you go to bed when you're watching TV with your woman on your iPad drawing or in your sketchbook sketching your appointments? Because if you're able to watch TV and do that at the same time, you're going to make a whole lot more money than the people who spend the first 2 hours every day drawing for their appointments. If I can be there at 8:30, have my desk set up, they come in at 9, I collect payment, do their paperwork, and by 9:15 I'm tattooing and I stop at 4:50, clean up my station and go home, and I tattoo for the entire time that I'm there, I'm going to outperform everyone in the fucking studio. Mm-hmm. Now that's going to cut into my downtime at home. Where does that matter though? Does it really matter that you're drawing while watching television? Because you're probably playing on your phone anyways. What are you doing to keep your art alive? Are you painting? Are you doing things that satiates that need to create in you? Because being a creative is just as important as what you're doing with your creative abilities.
Right.
That's a whole different discussion though. Anyways, let's get back to this. I don't want to kill too much time ranting about the tattoo industry. I hate what it's become.
I'm really struggling with my work and family balance now. Tattoo artists' major times of the week are outside of normal working hours.
Yep, just said that.
Our clients are also parents and families who work 9 to 5 jobs.
Just said that too.
And so they have that schedule of needing to get their services done when they are free.
Yep.
Meaning the times I have to be home with my family are the times they generally are free to get a tattoo.
Those are not the times that you have to be home with your family. Those are the times that you're choosing to be home with your family.
Right.
And your woman is yours and the kids are your bonus kids, but you don't have to be there like that. They have a dad. And if they're only there on the weekends and you're just trying to be present, you could work and show those kids what it is to have a work ethic and provide a living for them because of it. You don't have to be there for that. I'm not here when the kids are here all the time.
No.
But when I am here, I am present. And
Right.
that's the difference. Sometimes they understand that while I'm here, I'm working. They got to leave me alone.
Right. The only difference is that your physical being isn't here.
Right.
Right.
My body being here, my brain not being here doesn't do them any good.
Right. And the kids also enjoy the time more when you're here because they know that they're going to be getting your undivided attention.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I play with them. Like
Yeah.
I draw with them and we learn and do stuff. Like it's not, I don't know.
That whole conversation last night with our son, where he was like, I don't want you to go. I'd miss you.
Okay. You need context. You can't just say that. I bought a new Eberl stock, however you pronounce that, travel bag because my Oakley bag has a spot on one of its wheels where it's flat.
Yeah.
And when I roll it, it goes dut, 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 like a shopping cart at
And
Walmart.
it's all we hear.
It's so fucking bad. And one of the rivets is missing, and
It's old.
it is. It's about a decade. I've put that thing through some fucking hard tosses.
I can tell.
So I bought a new bag, and when I opened it, he's like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "I'm leaving." And he's like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Because you keep asking questions." And like, I was giving him a really hard time. He's 6. It's fun to fuck with him. And he's like, "But I don't want you to leave. I'll miss you." And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" And so I was giving him a hard time. But he flat out was like, "I like it when you're around. I like you. I love you." Like, and that was a heart melting moment for me.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have that with him if I wasn't present when I'm here.
Right.
If all I'm doing is scrolling on my phone or playing video games or working on my car, playing on my bike, he's not going to get that side of me. He's not going to know me like that. And
that whole conversation would have been a thing. He'd be like, okay, bye.
Yeah. See ya. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. But that's the difference between being there and being present.
How does that feels good, doesn't it?
It does feel good. I get I know that I talk very highly of the kids and of being a bonus dad, but I get really overwhelmed.
You do.
I don't deny that. Like it's a lot. Having 2 kids in here after not having kids in the home for as long as I have, like it's hard. And there are days that I'm so fucking grateful that we have a studio, because there's days that I can be like, hey, I need to leave. Because I can't do this anymore. I'm overstimulated. I have fucking processes that I have to go through, and sometimes I struggle. So having the ability to do that is a godsend for me. But being able to be here with them and see them grow and them love me the way that they do is also a rewarding thing. So like, I don't know.
I want to point out that having the studio for you to go to and game is also a godsend for me, because I'd rather it be that than like emotional cheating or going and meeting somebody somewhere. Yeah. I would rather you have your own outlet where you can go and decompress. And because a lot of women would hear that, oh, he has a place he can go to, a separate house where he plays video games when he wants to. Yeah, he does.
Well, I don't have that. When do I get my free time?
When I make time for it.
Yeah.
I have free time when I make time to have it. I'm going to be honest. I'm relieved that you have a place to go to.
Yeah. Why is that?
Because I know the children are a lot, and you get overstimulated. Not easily, but on certain days, if a lot of shit's going on and then the kids are here on top of it, I know it's a lot. It's a lot for me, and I'm their mom. Like,
right. Well, see, and that's the important thing. I'm not their dad.
Right.
I'm a bonus in all of this. They're not my kids.
Yeah.
And that's important. Like this emailer, like they're not your kids, and you can step in and raise them and love them as if they're your kids. But at the end of the day, they're not.
Yeah.
I got with you. The kids are a byproduct of that. So I had to accept the children to be with you.
Right.
That's a choice I made. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to be able to just jump into that role and live that life forever and just be perfectly okay with it.
Right.
People that have their own kid can't be perfectly okay with it all the time. People forget that shit. In the very beginning, I struggled hard as fuck with all of it. The noise, the issues that we had, like understanding them because they were little and like speech impediments. Like it was a fucking lot for me. So this has been a learning thing, and there was a lot of grace given from both of us. You gave me a lot of grace in the beginning of this because I would get frustrated and I would have to just sit in silence because it's not fair to the kids. They don't understand that I'm having issues. Like it's a lot. And this is one of those hard discussions that I'm going to get ripped apart on the internet. As soon as this hits, if we made a clip of that and I posted it, I would be fucking ripped to shreds.
Yeah.
For just being honest. That was my perspective of things. Did it change anything? No, because I'm fucking great with the kids. Like we have a great relationship. Those kids fucking love me. That doesn't mean that I don't have days where I need to get the fuck out of the house because I'm ready to explode. It happens. And I think that even if it was my kids and they were mine, I would still have those moments. The difference is you have a different bond than I do with them. I don't know. I could keep going on with that, but I think I'm going to start talking in circles. So
Okay. I'm trying my best to pull a 9 to 5 Sunday to Thursday work schedule. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
yeah, so he's off Fridays and Saturdays.
Okay.
I wouldn't hire somebody for that. If you were trying to get a job in my studio, unless you were fucking incredible, I wouldn't accommodate that schedule.
9 to 5 on top of having Friday and
Saturday.
Saturday off.
Yeah.
That's just unrealistic in that company.
Right. Well,
in that industry.
In the industry. And that also depends on when the shop is open. If the shop is only open from 2 to 10 and he's only there with the other people for 3 hours, how are you booking walk-ins?
Right.
Are you booked out for a year? Like, how are you continuing to be booked out for a year? Do you have somebody else handling your books? At that point, why don't you just open a private studio? Like, that's a whole other slew of questions.
My response to this would be, you either get me 9 to 5 and I get whatever days off I get, or you get me Friday and Saturday and I'm working until 11 o'clock. You don't get both. You're choosing to be with somebody who works in this industry. I am sacrificing a lot by choosing to be with you and having a family with you. There has to be a give and take here. I can't be the only one sacrificing.
Right.
My partner is having to pick up the slack financially a lot. 1, because our industry has suffered so heavily since COVID. And 2, because I'm right in the middle of slow season now.
I can understand the slow season, but not the COVID thing. I made a lot of fucking money after COVID. Our studio was banging. It's slowed down now. Like now it's slowing down. It has nothing to do with COVID. It has to do with the devaluation of the dollar.
Oh, yeah.
And everything costing so much. The average rent where we live now is almost $3,000 a month. So like it's not just, it has nothing to do with COVID at all. The industry is going through a shift. But I also still have artists that are making 6 figures a year that work for me. So I don't understand. It's your schedule. Your schedule is the problem.
Yeah.
You know.
I know I'm capable of making more money than my partner, and in the good months, I feel I can triple what he can. But to do so, I have to sacrifice helping at home. Seems that no matter which path I choose here, I will make my partner unhappy. I can either be a good step-parent and family member and not bring any money, or I can grind and bring in money and never see them. To top all of this off, I also relocated about 4 hours away from my last home, so I'm having to rebuild my clientele.
Yep. And you're doing it on a shorter schedule when the shop is primarily closed.
During slow season.
And during slow season, missing the 2 busiest days of the week. What do you think is going to happen?
That sounds like you're being set up for failure.
Yes, he's setting them, or he or she, I don't know.
The emailer.
They are setting themselves up for failure. Absolutely are. Yep. I have Jeffrey Graham Tattoos on TikTok. He just hit 100,000 subscribers or followers like a month ago. He's been on the podcast multiple times. He is a sole provider for 6 kids, one of them being severely autistic, like nonverbal 7-year-old autistic kid, special needs through the fucking roof, and a wife that stays at home, and he's able to provide all of it on a tattoo salary because he's really fucking good at what he does. He has a work ethic and he doesn't say no. He takes everything that will walk in the door, from infinity symbols to color realism. And he books himself from open to close. He tattoos all day, every day that he's there. He works a normal schedule, and he's able to be a parent to 6 fucking kids and is still a phenomenal husband to his wife.
Oh, yeah. His family relationships are very close-knit.
Yep. I would not change my work schedule for my relationship.
No. Are you kidding me? You could not do that in any other industry.
Right. You could try to go to a day shift if that is a possibility, if you started at nights. But if we got together and you didn't, if you and I had first started dating and I was working from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. every single day of the week except for Sundays, that's my work schedule. If we started getting together and you're like, I need to see you more, I don't know what to tell you. This is what I was doing when we met. This is what I plan on doing for the next 5 years. And in 5 years, I have this plan, and this plan, and I'm going to start implementing those things. And that's my 5-year goal. I have things that I want to do to get me to where I got to go. And right now I have to suffer. And if you were like, that's not good with me, then you need to go, because my longevity and the way that I want to build my empire to be able to retire matters more to me than a potential relationship. And that would have been the discussion as we started talking. Your job and your money and the way that you were setting yourself up for retirement matters so much more than potential flings and somebody getting mad because you're not spending enough time there. Now, when you get married, that changes things, but she knew what the work schedule, or they knew what the work schedule was before you got married. Tattoo artists work shitty hours. It's a fucking shitty job to have. There's a lot of money to be made, and you get to draw on people for a living. That's pretty cool. But the rest of it, the rest of the politics and the drama and the shop drama and all the fucking nonsense and the shitty schedules, that's the industry.
Yeah.
And if you want to be a tattoo artist, that's part of the fucking job. And if you don't want to be a tattoo artist or you don't want to work those hours, then be a painter. Find something to do that you can sell your art and be creative and make money, but 9 to 5 and Sunday through Thursday, isn't it? Why don't you work Tuesday through Friday, a normal schedule, and be home Sunday and Monday so that you can do the kid thing all day Sunday, and every Sunday you guys go do something as a family. How old is the step kid? That fucking matters. Is the step kid 5 or 15? Because like 10, 15 doesn't need you around like 5 and 6 does.
No.
I don't know. There's a whole lot to that. I would not give up my career or sabotage my career for a relationship.
No.
Or a marriage. I wouldn't do it for a marriage. If that's the way things were when we got married and all of a sudden you've got a fucking problem with it, we need to figure out what the real problem is.
Mm-hmm.
Am I not doing what I need to be doing when I'm home as your husband? Is your intimacy meter not full? Are the kids being too much and you need fucking help? Like, what's the real problem? Because this is the way we've lived our life the entire time, and now all of a sudden it's a fucking problem. So what's the underlying so that we can correct the problem and I can continue to provide for you? Because he just said, they just said, I keep saying he, she, because I'm a tattoo artist.
Mm-hmm.
They just said that they could make so much more money than their partner. As a tattoo artist, if you're good at what you do and you know how to market, you could pull 6 figures a year. Easy.
Mm-hmm.
Easy. I every time I have met a tattoo artist who said they make less than $1,500 a week, I've been like, why?
Like why are you the problem? Like what?
Yeah. What are you doing wrong?
Yeah.
You should be pulling $800 to $1,000 a day easy if you know how to market yourself and you have a good personality. That's all there is to that. And if you're not doing that, it's because of something that you're doing wrong.
Be real easy to knock out 7 or 8 bangers, $100 ones.
Yep. And if you're making 50 to 60%, you should be pulling that kind of money.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand how people aren't doing it. Realistically, yeah, $600 to $800 a day is easy as a tattoo artist. Your cut.
Mm-hmm. Back to the email.
Yeah.
I'm really struggling to manage home life and work balance. I'm not sure who else to talk to about it because none of my peers and coworkers have kids. I'm struggling to manage home chores, helping with kids, birthday parties / events and school stuff, family trips, making sure to keep up with my emails, drawing tattoo appointments, and everything else that comes along with tattooing. I was wondering if there was some insight you could share to help me. And I'm sure I'm not the only tattoo artist out there who's also struggling with this. So maybe insight for all of us to help out with this.
Okay. So the problem is that the insight is going to be different from person to person. What you're going through may not be what the next person is going through. If you are a tattoo artist and you're not making money and you want to start making money in the tattoo field, there are people that I can put you in contact with that can help you with that. They do charge a fee. I have multiple people in the industry that are actually getting into marketing, and that's kind of their coaching thing. Mike from Force of Focus is one of those people. If you want to work directly with me and you're a tattoo artist or a creator in general or a business owner and you need actual like business advice, the coaching calls are coming. You can send emails and let me know that you want to be put on the list so that you can be one of the first clients. It will be $250 an hour unless you sign up for a month, and then it'll be $800. It'll be $200 for each week for the calls, and we'll do 4 calls over the course of a month. That is coming. We haven't set it in stone yet because of the bath line and all the other shit that we've got going on. We've been trying to make sure that when we start doing that, we're not behind. So you can do that. I currently do consulting for other businesses, and I can do it for the tattoo industry. If you want to be a shop owner, or you are a shop owner, or you are an artist and you want to make more money, I can help you do that. I've made a lot of fucking money in the tattoo industry, and it's not hard. You just have to be willing to do the work. And if you're not willing to do the work, don't bother, because everything that I'm going to tell you is going to go in one ear, not the other, and you're not going to benefit from it anyways. Just save yourself the money.
Mm-hmm. How much is your consulting?
Well, it depends on what they're hiring me for. If they want me to come and like actually turn around their business, it's going to be a whole lot different. But
so there's options.
Yeah, but to just do a coaching call, like if you're, like I said, it's $250 an hour to talk to me on the phone. And if you want to do monthly setups where you talk to me once a week, it's $800. It'll save you $200. You can send that email to tobebetterco at gmail.com, and our screeners will forward that to my actual email address, and I'll reach out to you.
I just wish there was some way to show people outside of the tattoo. I just wish that there was a way to show people outside of the studio that this isn't just a fun, laid-back job where we doodle on people for money and make fart jokes.
That's unfortunately the perception because of what the tattoo industry has become. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how unprofessional tattoo artists treat their clients.
Oh yeah, they're acting like
Children.
1980s rock stars.
Yeah. And they're making dick jokes, fart jokes, talking about fucking and drugs, and it's not conducive to success. That's not the way business should be ran.
Mm-hmm. We live, eat, and breathe our work. From time to time, we get up. From the time we get up to the time we sleep, it's always there. When we start to slack in any way, it can fall apart so fast.
Yep.
If we aren't always trying to progress our artwork, do the next best tattoo we've ever done, always striving to be better and better, it shows in something someone else has to wear forever. Sorry if this was a bit of a ramble, and thank you so much for your time.
That's the stress of the industry. And every tattoo artist experiences that. The secret in that is knowing that you're never going to be 100%. But if you can be 95% all the time, you're doing better than most. You know, you have to, there's just a lot. That's one of those things that I don't want to get into too much, because that really would be a very long
conversation.
Yeah. Be a whole lot of phone calls. I have in my career mentored people that were making $200 a week and turned them into a $1,500 to $2,500 a week tattoo artist consistently. It literally just comes down to understanding how to sell your product, how to sell yourself, because you are the product. Mm-hmm. Your tattoo is not, you are. And then understanding the marketing aspect of it.
Yep.
Let's do one more. We'll wrap it up.
Okay. This one is titled Patreon, Please Help. Hi, guys.
Pause real quick, because I'm going to insert the Patreon clip. Yeah, for those of you who don't know what that is, Patreon is a member-based subscription website that allows us to do early release, live streams, exclusive content, vlogs, and we have our own Discord server that is exclusive to our Patreon community.
That Discord is absolutely insane. It is an ever-growing community of like-minded people who you could say practice what we preach, have implemented the things that we have suggested, and it's working.
Would you go as far as to say that they're getting better?
I'd go as far as saying that they're definitely getting better. So if you have questions, you need unbiased opinions, you don't feel safe going to anybody in your present life, I would highly recommend checking out the Discord.
Yep. Also, for those of you who don't want to support us financially, that's totally fine. The best thing that you can do in terms of helping us grow this channel is by sharing our content. The more people that see what we do, the more likely it is to get shared. The more people that are going to support what we are doing, the longer we are going to do this. Back to your regular scheduled program.
Hi, guys. I've been listening to your podcast over the last month or two, and you guys have really helped me so much already. I just need advice for the situation that I have found myself in. I'm 23, and my woman is 22. Needless to say, there is an abundance of growth happening all the time. We've been together for just over a year, which isn't a huge milestone by any means. However, for both of us, it was kind of a big deal. Regardless of this, I need advice. I'm not perfect by any means, and far from it, in fact, but I'm striving so hard to become the man I want to be and the man that she deserves. I'm finding myself in this rut currently, and I'm at the point where I'm probably going to have to get a second job to keep finances coming in so we have more financial freedom, at least something that will take stress off of both of us, mainly her. I understand I'm still young, and those kinds of things come with time. Recently, there have been some things that have been brought to my attention, not the way I liked, but definitely in a way I needed to hear it. Essentially, her and I both are having trouble saving money for really anything. We budget and really analyze where we can save, but to no avail. It was also brought to my attention that we haven't been out to do something in a while.
Yeah, I have to pause you. Go look at your bank statement. Right? Go through your bank statement and see where your money's going, because you're spending money. If you're budgeting and you're planning shit and your end of month goals aren't being hit, it's because you're spending money somewhere on something that you're not paying attention to.
Yeah.
Could be streaming services, could be a fucking automatic payment for something that you forgot you have. Go through your bank statements, figure out what the fuck is going on, and fix your finances. Stop spending on shit you don't need to be buying. You could probably avoid getting the second job, although I think you probably should get a second job if you're struggling.
Yeah.
Or use that time to look for a better paying job so that you can quit your job and start a new job making more money doing what you're doing, and then you can work the same hours and just make more money.
I noticed this before it was mentioned and had been planning a date night for both of us, even if it was something we did for free, just something that really made her feel appreciated and loved.
Ain't nothing wrong with doing free dates.
Unfortunately, the stress has gotten to be a lot for her, and she decided that she will be staying with her mom for a little bit.
Oh.
and I'm feeling extremely lost as to what I can do. I'm doing my best to boost our savings right now by picking up extra days and shifts at work, selling things I don't use or need, and even finding a second job.
Hold on. If you guys are struggling financially and she's decided to go back to her mom's, that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know, because right now you guys are struggling and she's not willing to endure that struggle with you.
Yeah. What else is she gonna fly on?
Right.
I'm good.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to invest my time and efforts into ship jumpers.
Yeah.
We're sailing through this storm together, and we will be skilled on the other side of this motherfucker. But if you jump ship and start swimming to shore and leave me to deal with all of this, if I have to do it alone, I'm going to do it alone.
Yeah, I'm not looking for a fair-weathered husband or anything.
Yeah, no, fuck that. So if this is solely about the money and she's leaving you because you are struggling to keep up, that's a fucking problem. What is she doing to help increase your finances? Sometimes you're going to suffer financially in life. That's going to happen. And like stress and finances creates a whole lot of other problems for people and like ruins relationships. And I fucking get that. But it should not be the reason that people split. If it is an underlying cause of stress and one person has to find out where everything is coming from, that level of stress will make other things worse than what they actually are. I don't like where this is going.
I really care for this woman, and I want to work together through whatever struggles we each have or will go through. I cannot see myself with someone else at the end of the day. I'm aware that I need to be on my shit and finding new ways to make extra cash. I'm aware that I need to be more present in the free moments that I have.
I agree with all of that. You should be doing that anyways, whether you're in a relationship or single. You should always be trying to level and live in the now.
I'm a slight workaholic and get tunnel vision really easily and subconsciously neglect her and her needs sometimes, and that kills me. So I know that is something I need to actively work on.
Yeah, but if you learn to actively focus that, it becomes a superpower. I do the same shit. I obsess over things hard, but it's why I'm successful.
Yeah. She should also be communicating her needs.
She should also be understanding. You can't have your cake and eat it too. If she wants you to be financially stable and you've got to work to do that, she doesn't get to bitch and complain when you're working a lot. There was a saying back in the day that everybody wants somebody who's got money, but they don't want the problems that comes with somebody who has money. And like, don't get a high value man if you can't handle a high value man, like that kind of shit. And that comes down to, if you want a man who has these things, you have to understand that it takes a lot for us to get there. It takes a lot for us to maintain it. Just like the last emailer, it's constant fucking work. And if you're not willing, if you want somebody who can just lay around with you and fucking be there whenever you need them to be there, you're not going to get that with a successful person. You're just not. Some days I'm not going to have time to listen to you talk about fucking, I don't know, the Gilmore Girls. Like, I don't have time for this right now. I'm fucking working. What do you want? Like that's very much a thing for people. And like, when you have somebody who's got a whole lot of free time and somebody who doesn't really have any, that time that they have matters a whole lot more. And they find themselves getting frustrated with stupid shit that normal people wouldn't get frustrated about, because it's not that I'm frustrated with you for talking to me about that. It's that I have 15 minutes to get this done and I just killed 7 of it talking to you about something that does not fucking matter. And you're putting in a request for connection and I'm trying to keep our life afloat, right? Like in this scenario. So like that's a fucking concern. And that comes down to not being able to talk to each other. Hey, when I'm at work, don't call. Like, unless the house is burning down, don't call me. Send me an ass picture and I'll text you on my lunch break. Like, I have things that I have to do to make sure that our life is continuing. And we can have these stupid conversations about TV shows that you're watching when I'm home, but not during the day when I'm trying to get shit done. And if I'm home and I'm still working, I need you to leave me alone so I can get the work done so that we can continue to have life that we have and we're doing the thing that we're doing. Most people that get a man who works like that doesn't understand the level of stress and energy it comes into. And the same goes the other way around. When a man gets a woman who is a fucking high performance woman, he doesn't know what to do himself. Most men don't know what to do about that shit. Oh, she's never here. Well, I'm never here either. Why isn't she home? Why isn't she returning my calls when I have the time? Because we're so used to having women who aren't high performers be able to just respond whenever the fuck we blow their shit up. You know what I mean? It comes down to a convenience almost. Like, I expect you to be there when I need you to be there, not when you want me to be there, kind of thing. But which is contradictory in itself. But that's the difference between somebody who's working an 80-hour work week and somebody who's working part-time playing on their phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot to think about.
I guess the advice I'm asking for is, where do I go from here? How do I ensure that this doesn't happen again? And what can I do to get us out of this mess? She's upset and requested space to clear her head. Quite frankly, I'm not too keen on taking that away from her, but I also feel like breaks that last more than maybe a day always lead to disaster. This way of thought is also something I am working on. I am a logic and reason-driven person, so all I can do is think of solutions while she takes her time. I know I have a huge part to play, and I just want to fix my end of things. I'm trying to pull myself up by the gosh darn bootstraps. I need a different perspective. I greatly appreciate your time, and I hope this email adds up and makes sense.
Why is it up to you to fix everything? If this is really about finances and this is about money and not having enough quality time, that's a very different conversation than you did something and now she's fucking leaving because of it. If she's leaving because of your finances and because you have to work to provide, she's not the one. That's all there is to that. Mm-hmm. This is supposed to be a team effort. If you were still doing a stay at home and we didn't have the podcast and we were just doing what we were doing when we first started dating and you were getting mad because I wasn't here, I don't know what to tell you. How the fuck do you expect me to provide the life that you want to live if you're not going to let me go to work without giving me shit for going to work? It has to happen. Like, I don't even understand why this is a thing. It sounds to me like she's expecting a whole lot more of this person than he's able to give. If people aren't willing to suffer with you, they don't deserve to be there when you're fucking riding the highs. Like, you don't get me at my best if you didn't suffer with me at my worst. I just don't, I don't know. I don't understand that mentality. I would rather fucking do it by myself and be happy than fucking have to do it anyway, support another person and be fucking miserable doing it.
I agree.
How long did those people say they were together? Do you remember? And they're in their 20s. What were they, 20 and 21 or something?
Emailer's 23, woman is 22. They've been together just over a year.
Yeah, this isn't it, dude. This just is not it.
I would move on, yeah.
Yeah, you're a year in.
And she's already jumped ship.
Yeah. Yep. You're at a point where like you're realizing your incompatibility in certain aspects.
What if there's a natural disaster and you guys lose your house?
Who's to say they even have a house? They probably rent an apartment somewhere.
No, I mean, like if they stay together and get married and 15 years from now, they have a family and then a natural disaster happens and they lose their house. Is she just going to jump ship and take the kids and go stay at her mom's house and leave you to figure out what you're going to do? I'm good.
Yeah. I would look at the situation like that too.
Yeah.
Those behavior patterns, those add up to me. And like, you know, we talk about a lot, not joking about divorce, because when you plant that seed, eventually it'll come to fruition. You are planting the seeds of insecurity and doubt in your person when you're making those jokes. Mm-hmm. If you're willing to jump ship and go stay at your parents' house or take a break, you're showing me that you're not willing to fight through all of this.
Right.
At that point, why are we even bothering? Because I'm willing to do the work and suffer and you're not. Mm-hmm. If you're not willing to do the same amount of work that I am to make this relationship work, I see that now. I know that every single time we have a problem, I'm going to have to worry about you leaving or threatening to leave or throwing it into my face. I don't need that.
Yeah.
We're going to do this and we're going to fucking do this or we're not. I'm not playing the back and forth game. Mm-hmm. I don't get it.
And that situation is different from somebody saying, hey, we're really struggling right now. I am at my mental capacity. I'm about to have a breakdown. I need a weekend away. I'm going to go stay at my mom's just to decompress.
Right.
And take like a little mini staycation. And then when I come back, if you want to take next weekend and do whatever you want to do, I'll hold down the fort. Like, I don't know if that's what you need, but I need it. And I'm asking for help.
Yeah. Well, the difference in that scenario was that you said a weekend away, not a separation.
Right.
Like I need a break. I'm going to my mom's and he doesn't know how long she'll be there.
Yeah.
She's leaving at that point. She's like, I don't know if I want this to work. That's what I hear when they're like, I'm going to go stay. We're going to separate for a little while.
That's what I heard from that too.
I even in your scenario, in that example that you gave, I'd be like, no, I'm not okay with that.
Yeah.
If you need a break, let's go sleep in the back of the van on a beach somewhere.
And that's a good response, right?
Let's go hike. Let's fucking leave the phones in the fucking car and go spend the day in the mountains. Let's do something where we can be unreached and just reconnect. That one day is not going to be the end of the world.
Right.
It's not. unless it's a day that you were supposed to work and you called off already being broke. But if it's Sunday and Sundays are your day off together, instead of you going to your mom's Sunday, we're going to get up at 6 a.m, drive 3 hours to a park and just disappear in the woods all fucking day long. You pack a lunch, I'll drive. Be a free day. That's not going to cost you shit but gas.
Right.
And if you can't afford to take the gas, then go fucking sit at a park. There's something that you can do for free because you're trying to save money or financially irresponsible or whatever the problem is, where you can reconnect. You going to deal to your mom's for the weekend so that you can unplug while I am still sitting here stressed the fuck out dealing with everything is not teamwork.
No.
I would have a problem with that. Not like overanalyzing the situation. I think that if that was the case and I agreed to it, I think that I would be resentful afterwards. I honestly think, like, now that I'm really thinking about that, like if that was us and I let you do that and if I was like, no, babe, go do your thing, go to your mom's and decompress. And I had to sit here and live in my thoughts while you were there, I would be super fucking salty about it. You'd come back and you'd be like, what's wrong, babe? Nothing. Like I would be that guy. Like I would be fucking salty about it.
Yeah.
And it would just gradually build over the weekend because I still have to deal with our life. The weight of the world is on my shoulders. And that speaks to the decision maker and the traditional values that we have. It is my responsibility to make sure the things that we have what we need. And if you're willing to go stay wherever you're going to go stay for a weekend while I'm still stuck dealing with all of this, it shows that I'm the one doing everything and you're not part of my support system.
Yeah.
And what's the point in the marriage at that point? Like, we're supposed to be doing this together. My wins are your wins. Our losses are my losses.
Okay.
Right? So like, I need you to suffer with me so that when we are winning, I know that we did this together, not I fucking suffered and grinded and worked while you lived your best fucking life and you get to reap the rewards from it.
It would be in the scenario that I brought up, it was less of living my best life and more of it's either I go stay at my mom's or I'm getting Baker acted.
Yeah. Well, that's an extreme though. But
I mean, that's the only situation where I would say something like that.
Yeah.
So
there would still need to be a discussion before it got to that point, or even at that point, like there would need to be a lot of talks.
Other solutions are always available.
There has to be.
Right.
There has to be. Obviously, that's to go to the Baker acting thing. A 72-hour psychiatric hold is a very different conversation than our finances are tight right now, and I don't know if I want to do this.
Right.
That's definitely to an extreme, and I think at that point we failed. If it got to that point, we failed. Like if we got to the point where you were that overwhelmed that you were willing to Baker act yourself and go to a 72-hour psychiatric hold. Our communication broke down. I'm oblivious to what's going on in the home, or I'm neglecting you intentionally because I see what's going on and I just don't want to deal with it because that's a thing for people.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of like, how the fuck did we get to this point? Like,
I've actually done that. I voluntarily Baker acted myself before, and you're right. All of those things happened.
Yeah, that had nothing to do with me, guys.
No, it wasn't him. It was a different situation.
Yeah.
But that's an experience I've had.
Right. But it could have been avoided.
Yeah, by everything that you listed. I wanted to let you know that in your hypothetical situation, in my real life experience, you're correct.
Yeah. I don't understand. How do I word this? I don't understand how you can let it get to that point from a selfish standpoint, right? Because if your partner is going through that, that's got to suck for you, right? Like from a purely narcissistic thought process, to go from you with your personality to the point where you want to Baker act yourself, that entire process means that whoever is part of your life in that moment is suffering through all of that because you are not who you normally are. You've become this other person and they've neglected the entire situation. And in doing so, they hurt themselves. So from a selfish standpoint, how the fuck do you let that happen? We had a conversation this morning about all of this because, and I know that we see things slightly different, but we also found the common ground and we were just talking differently, with different verbiage because we do that a lot. When you are not okay, I'm not okay. And even if I'm not the cause of you not being okay, I understand how overwhelmed you are with all of this. I fucking get it because I've done it. I'm on like my 18th business at this point. I fucking understand how stressful all of this is. New startups are exciting. It's fun, but it's fucking trying. So even though I know what you're going through, because I know that you are mentally fucking taxed, I feel like I'm doing something wrong. So like, even though you're like, I really appreciate you being there, and like you're hyping me up and you're being sweet to me still, and you're making it very clear that I'm not the fucking problem, because you're not okay, and I am the protector, the provider, and the leader of this home. You not being okay is my fault.
Like you're the default.
Period.
Okay.
There's not a scenario that you can go, but you didn't do. No, I did, because the final decision making is mine. To make sure that you are okay is my primary fucking objective as your husband. So when you're not okay, I'm not okay. Something I have done has caused this to be a thing. Something that I have not done could be the reason that this has become a thing, right? Me stepping in and helping with the bath line could have relieved all of that. And I know that. But I also know that you wanted to do this on your own. I want you to do this on your own. And there's a life lesson that has to be had here. If your kids don't understand their homework and you just do their homework, they're not going to understand it tomorrow when they take that test. Next week, when they have the same fucking homework, you're going to get frustrated because they don't know it because you showed them how to do it. No, you did it for them. And they didn't understand. You just gave them the answer. Well, now they understand the answer to 91 plus 91. They don't understand how they got there. So the understanding has to be had. And that's where the conversations come in. There's a whole lot of work that has to be done from here before it gets to here so that we can get back to fucking here. Like, I don't know. It's just a lot.
It is a lot.
I take that very serious.
What, me being okay?
Well, yeah, obviously, but the leadership role.
Oh.
I don't think that, I've said it in the past, if you are the leader of anything and your team wins. You don't, your team does. But if you're the decision maker and you're leading and your team fails, it's your fault. It's not your team's. You did or did not do something that you should have done to get them to that point of winning. Mm-hmm. Does that mean that the other people outperformed? Maybe. It could just be that they're fucking better than you. I don't really know. But if you knew that they were that much better than you, what could you have done to prepare them to not get beat or to get a tie or maybe even like eke out a win of some sort? And that's how I view that shit. So I think that, but I also think that you being my pillar of support and all the things that we're doing makes me want to do those things that much harder. So back to the email, knowing that she's willing to jump ship and they've only been together for a year and she's not willing to suffer through these things, why should he go above and beyond and try to be that motherfucker for her if she's not willing to deal with this little bit of inconvenience right now? It doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. I don't know. You get into life and into relationships and into jobs, what you put into them. You're going to ask somebody for a promotion and you've been doing the bare minimum at your job. You've quiet quit, as they say, which is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Quiet quit?
Quiet quitting.
Oh, so you're too much of a pussy to just actually do it.
No, quiet quitting. This is an actual thing where people go to work for major corporations and do the absolute minimum just to not get fired. Because they're only getting paid a certain amount of money, and if they go above and beyond, they're not going to make any more. So they do just enough to eke by without being fired. Because they need the money, they just don't want to do the work required for them to level up. Because people believe that you can't. There are people who have started in mailrooms who have ended up buying companies. People who have started at washing toilets at McDonald's that own their own franchises, multiple, right?
Yeah.
If you do the work, you will get rewarded. Mm-hmm. Even if that means you have to go to another job with all of the information that you learned at this other job and take that information with you to start at a higher pay. Mm-hmm. Your life is a direct reaction to the consequences of the decisions that you've made.
Yeah. The president of Coca-Cola started off as a merchandiser.
Really?
That is like the lowest tier of that corporation.
And then worked their way up.
Yeah. Been with the company for like 30 years, I think.
But they did it.
Yeah.
I understand there are people out there who believe that there's no way to level up in your company, right? And if you're a subcontractor and you're your own boss, technically, your income is dependent on your ability to perform. Mm-hmm. So like on the tattoo person, if their marketing is on point and they know how to talk to their clients and they know how to get clients in the door, selling them their brand, they can make money. But if they're fucking not answering emails, not getting drawings done on time, not punctual, not posting to social media, not handling the marketing side of things, not coming to work on time, arguing with their boss, making dick jokes to their clients, trying to fuck everyone that comes to the door, of course you're not making any money. because you're treating this like it's a fucking hobby and this is your cool time because you're the popular kid in school now that you're a tattoo artist.
Yeah.
Whereas if you treat it like a fucking business like Jeff does, you can make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. So it really does come down to how much you're willing to put into it. And your job and your relationship is the exact same thing. I made a TikTok yesterday, and I don't know if you saw it because I did 3 yesterday and I posted 2 of them while we were at the studio. But I said in there that, like, because I got a text message from somebody who owns a tattoo shop who had an artist looking for a raise.
I saw that TikTok, yeah.
You don't fucking deserve a raise, bro. You do absolutely nothing for your industry or your shop or even your own career, and you want more money? Get fucked.
Go get a second job.
But I made it a point to be like, when you start your job, for those of you who didn't see the TikTok, you go above and beyond. You put your best foot forward. You want to show the company and the people around you that you have value, that you are an asset to the team, that you have potential to grow, and you fucking do the best that you can in the beginning until you start getting comfortable and life starts to beat you down a little bit and home life starts to stress you out and all of these things. And then I was like, replace job with relationship, because it's the same conversation. All of the problems that you're having in your relationship is because during that first year, you put out your best foot and you did everything that you could fucking do to lock that down.
You wanted to be the prime candidate.
Right. You wanted to make sure that they were secure and staying. And now that you've got it, you're not fucking trying anymore. Mm-hmm. You're letting the coworkers, your friends, poison your fucking relationship. You're not buying chocolates or candies or flowers. You're not doing dates anymore. You're not grabbing her ass when she walks by or telling her she's beautiful. You have dropped the fucking ball because you've gotten complacent and comfortable. You can't do that shit. I every time I know where you're going to be and I'm not going to be around, I try to order you flowers or, edible arrangements, or I'll buy you chocolates. Mm-hmm. Because I want you to know that I know I'm not going to be here, but I still want you to think about me while I'm gone. Right. Because it's really nothing to order edible arrangements and I get to eat some of it. Like, it's a fucking win-win. I tried to get you, special chocolates from them when I did it, and they were out and they gave us the pecans instead. And I finished that box off last night.
I woke up last night just to eat 3 of those pecans.
They were so good.
I went back to sleep and I woke up and I was like, oh, those were so good.
Do you know, I had an idea today that we are peanut brittle.
We are peanut.
You and I are peanut brittle.
You and I specifically are peanut brittle.
Yep. Think about that for a minute and tell me if you can figure out why.
We are peanut brittle.
This is my entire thought process from the time of dropping off packages of soap to picking up the other boxes to come home. Yeah, it's so stupid.
Okay, we are peanut brittle. How is peanut brittle made? I mean, it's heated up. It's laid down on a cool surface. It hardens. Easily shatterable, like my mental state.
It's actually not easy to shatter it.
No,
it's not. Peanut brittle is hard as fuck.
I have no idea. You need to tell me.
Because by itself, the things that make peanut brittle good would be not good. So the brittle hard crunchiness by itself would not satisfy anything other than the need to crunch. Mm-hmm. And the sweet, flavorful side of it by itself would not be as satisfying without the crunch. This is so stupid. I can't believe I'm actually saying this out loud. You are the sweet flavor, and I am the hard exterior that you have to bite into to get to the sweet flavor. So,
oh my God,
we are peanut brittle. This podcast
is so romantic.
This is so stupid. This was literally 30 minutes of my day today trying to think about how I'm going to explain this to you. But that's it. You can't have the success of peanut brittle without having both of the formulas lined up to make it right. And that's the success of the podcast. I am a harsh, hard-spoken person, and you are the sweet balance that makes the hard exterior flavorful. So I can be that hard exterior and you can be the sweet center. And because of that, we have a enjoyable, palatable, flavorful podcast. Nerd.
I loved that.
Yep.
That was like a soulful foreplay. You trying to fucking get some later? Because it's working.
I'm always trying to get some later. It's so stupid though. So now when I buy you peanut brittle moving forward, you'll be like, oh,
I might cry. Yeah.
See, this is setting up. This is the promise ring thing all over again. I just wanted to make sure you liked peanut brittle. No, I'm just kidding. We have to do another episode this week for the repairs because we did flooding and I versus you statements. Guys, if you haven't yet, please go back and click on the Thailand link. It's in the link tree. It's on YouTube. It's on TikTok. Anywhere that we are at where there's a link tree, you can go and click on that. if the trip is gone and it's completely sold out because there's a limited slot of 24 people for Thailand, you can fill out the survey for the next trip because we will be doing more. Costa Rica is coming. I really want to go ziplining in Costa Rica.
Italy
is a thing. She wants to see Venice before it sinks.
I do. Yeah.
I don't think it's going to sink anytime soon.
I think it will.
I don't. I think that they'll fix whatever the problem is to keep it floating.
We'll see.
I have a whole lot of things. I want to do Iceland. I want to eventually go.
I want to go to Japan.
Yeah, I would like to see Japan. I don't know how that would look. I want to do Bali too, but the flights to Bali is more than the trip to Bali. So
Do the Maldives. How do you say it?
Those are super expensive too.
Yeah.
But that's, I don't know. I don't know if we would ever get to the point of doing that with people because I understand that not everybody has an expendable income to just go and do shit like that. But if we could do it on a smaller scale, like a cap of 10 people, that would be dope. I think doable. But
the whole point in us being able to offer this to you guys is to be able to experience some really dope life shit with you.
Yeah.
It's the only purpose.
When it comes down to it, we could do this without you guys. We could absolutely go to Thailand tomorrow if we wanted to, but doing seminars is that's the goal. Like that's something we've joked about since the beginning. Yeah. And doing small scale seminars on vacation makes it personable.
It does.
10 to 20 people is not that big of a deal. And if it gets to the point where we're doing 5 of these a year, eventually we could just rent a place in the States and have people meet us for a seminar and just do a fucking seminar.
Yeah.
But it's baby steps to get there. So
I like that the trip is also an option to reconnect with your partner. It's a vacation.
It is.
You're not going to bring your kids if you have kids. You're going to take a break from work. You're going to take a break from your family. There's a time difference.
You're in a new location.
Yeah.
And you were going to bond with the people that you were with because that's the familiar.
Yeah.
Yep. Anytime we go somewhere new, we are closer than we are when we're not. Mm-hmm. We're, it's not hey, I'm going to go to the store without you. It doesn't even happen. Like, no, I'm going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
It's also undivided attention. Undivided attention. You don't have your computer there. Don't have people blowing you up because they know that you're out of town.
Yep. Yeah,
I'm
nice.
so greedy. I'm so selfish. I love going on vacation with you.
Yeah.
I love having all of your attention.
That's funny. Well, I'm going to have to compete with elephants this time, and I don't know if I can do that.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
It's going to be a rough one.
We're going to have to see.
You have to compare trunks. With that being said, guys, remember you are the authors of your own life.
Fondue.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.